The Settings for Course Name section contains the welcome, instruction, and completion message slides that will appear in your course. The same content appears by default for all courses. However, they can be edited. Click the Edit Course Details button to edit the content of these slides. A new screen with the Settings for Course Name section will appear. Under the title of your course, there are two checkboxes: Display Entry Form and Allow Guest Entry. They are both clicked by default. The Display Entry Form will display the entry screen that asks for the user's first name, last name, and ID. The Allow Guest Entry checkbox displays the Enter as Guest button. Unclicking this checkbox will remove the checkbox and forces users to enter their first name, last name, and ID to enter the course. The Entry Form message field will display the text in this text box above the entry form. Enter your welcome message in the Welcome Message text box. Use the tools in the text box to change the appearance of your message. For example, change the font size, add bullets, hyperlinks, images, and video. The instructions in the Instruction message field will appear by default. This section will display after the welcome screen and contains instructions on how to navigate the module. Make any changes to this text here. Like the welcome message, you can use the tools in the text box to change the appearance of the instructions. If you would like to embed a survey into your course, select that survey from the drop-down menu next to Embedded Survey. We will cover how to create surveys in a later lesson. The next 7 fields are used if you would like to have a test appear after all or some of the lessons have been viewed. Add the quiz instruction in the Section Quiz Instruction message text box if the quiz will be appearing after a certain number of lessons. Click the checkbox next to Administer Final Test to make the quiz appear at the end of all lessons. Add the test instruction in the text box next to Final Test Instruction Message. This will appear before the test if your test will be administered after all lessons have been viewed. Enter the number of quiz questions you would like to appear in the final test in the text box next to Final Test Question Count. This will randomize the questions that will appear in the final test. For example, if you enter 15 questions in the module, but you enter 11 for the final test question count, then Comevo will choose 11 questions from the 15 to display for the user in their final test. If you would like to set a minimum score students must get to pass the final test, add a question count, and then add a final test cut score. For example, if students correctly answer fewer questions than the cut score, they will fail the final test and be bumped back to the beginning of the orientation. They will be able to scroll ahead through sections without taking quizzes again, but they will have to take the final test again until they pass in order for their status to be considered complete. Enter the message you would like users to see once they complete the course in the text box next to Completion Message. Use the tools in the text box to change the appearance of your message. For example, change the font size, add bullets, hyperlinks, images, and video. If you would like to add a personalized completion certificate to the course, select the completion certificate from the drop-down menu next to Completion Certificate. We will go over how to create and upload a completion certificate in a later lesson. The Exit Redirect radio buttons allow you to redirect the user to a new web page if the radio button next to URL is selected. Simply add the URL in the URL field below. Click the radio button next to Module if you would like to redirect the user to another Comevo module. Click the radio button next to Survey to select the survey for users to be redirected to once they have completed the orientation or training. Select the survey from the drop-down menu. Please note that the Exit Redirect features do not work for users logged in as a guest. Once you have completed the edits and changes to these features, click the Save button.